Hi, this is Stephanie Miller from The Stephanie Miller Show. Please enjoy this exclusive clip from my show on Political Voices Network. Okay, so listen, the reason I called you, because I have to say, first of all, none of my business, but you know stuff online, and you said you're getting pretty tired of it, all the name calling that you're experiencing online. So the one thing I wanted to address, though, is people keep saying you're being paid by some Israeli organization. And you said, clicks to me, I am not. I said to you, do you know how many times I've been accused of being a DNC shill or a George Soros funded something? Never gotten a dime from the DNC, never gotten a dime from George Soros, so I feel your pain that like you're not allowed to have an opinion. You'd have to be a paid shill for quote unquote for somebody, right?
And where are our big fat Soros checks? Because I've been getting accused of that by right-wing Trumpers since 2015 or 2016 when I went on air and identified his operations, his activities with the Russians. I mean, I literally got pulled off air at MSNBC because obviously George Soros is more powerful than anybody. But let me address this head on. Okay, there apparently is a very small class of people who have never listened to your show before, because if they had ever heard Malcolm Nance speak on your show or MSNBC or any other show, and you imagine for a fraction of a second that I don't say what I think in my head and my heart, then you apparently haven't been listening all these years.
Yep. Yeah.
No one puts words into my mouth. Right. No one pays me. I'm going to tell you that's not true. I was lying already. All right? The last person to pay me was Volodymyr Zelensky, $630 a month when I was a private in the Ukrainian army for almost a year. That's the last salary I had. I don't receive a salary from MSNBC. I don't receive a salary from George Soros. I don't receive a salary from Benjamin Netanyahu. And I definitely don't receive a salary from Al Jazeera, the Qataris, the Saudis, the Emiratis, or Hamas.
Yeah.
Anybody that thinks that, I'm just going to give you a little warning right now, okay? I'm going to get a little extra shouty because you guys apparently can't listen, read, or think for yourselves. I am a Navy Chief Petty Officer, retired, but they didn't retire my ability to process facts. And my sole job when I was on MSNBC, when I'm on my Substack, when I'm on Twitter, when I'm on Stephanie Miller, is to educate you about things you may either not know or misperceive. And if you don't have the personal fortitude and integrity and belief in yourself to understand what Steffi might be saying when she plays audio recordings, she's not making them up. Well, except for Rocky Mountain Mike.
Yes.
But they're real.
Except for your 45 jingles.
Real. Okay? There is a middle where we all live. Okay? For those of you who don't know it, I'm a pretty solid centrist Democrat.
Yeah.
But there are far extremes that would rather tear our party apart.
Yeah.
From the right. I got a text. I personally had the Attorney General of the United States go to MSNBC and pull me off air for 3 weeks because he lied about what was in the Mueller report.
Yeah.
So what I don't want to hear is people come out and say, well, free Palestine, y'all. I want to get rid of Malcolm Nance. Nope, not happening.
And
you are going to have to learn what I'm imparting to you, or you can go listen to Tucker Carlson.
So as a terrorism expert, I have always defended that you have been consistent. You put your money where your mouth is. You went to Ukraine because they were the victim of a terrorist attack, an unprovoked terrorist attack by Russia. You have been consistent in the threat of Russia, both to the America and now to Ukraine. So when, Israel was the victim of a terrorist attack, you went to help, as you do. I'm not going to agree with everything you say about everything. We were talking about our good mutual friend, Maxine Waters. She just tweeted, please stop the bombings in Rafah. Yeah. No more children, no more women, no more civilians should be brutally murdered, please. People are emotional about this. And, but you've got on the other side, Malcolm, this tweet, to get your, Christopher Boozy said, here's Nikki Haley writing, finish them on an IDF artillery shell. This is the day after Rafa. But y'all are out here protesting Biden while ignoring S like this. So just...
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, look, I'm from Philadelphia. I spent the weekend in Philadelphia for two reasons. One, to see my beloved wife on Memorial Day, along with my brother and sister, who are all buried at Washington Crossing National Cemetery, right? We're here to honor that. The next day, I was in Philadelphia for a root canal. So when I came out of that root canal, you know what I found out on Twitter? While I was in the dentist chair getting a needle in my mouth, there was...
Which is more enjoyable than talking about the Middle East, I imagine.
It's a hell of a lot more enjoyable than what I learned on Twitter, that there was a Free Palestine rally that was carrying Hamas flags and chanting Hamas chants to "My beloved, please strike Tel Aviv." This is insane. Not in Philadelphia. I tweeted that this morning. Don't ever let me see that. That's of this morning. Now, I know you don't have it, but this morning, officially, the Al-Qaeda organization endorsed the student protest in the United States. Al-Qaeda officially endorses the Free Palestine protest in the United States. You might remember that. Osama bin Laden, by the way, was not available for comment.
Yeah.
We are at a point here where your opinions, which I protect, I protect with my life.
So
okay? You cannot break up America and destroy democracy because you have an opinion that may differ from the person next to you.
Yep. But speaking of which, you've been very clear about who our enemies are and who our allies are. So Nikki Haley, after she did this disgusting thing that was just very ill-timed and whatever, so she finished them on the missile. But then she said she accused Russia and China of aiding Iran and Hamas in the deadly attack. She said it was orchestrated by Iran. It was helped with Russian intelligence. It was fueled by money from China. Don't deny that. Well, some stuff... Right, she's right about, but she would like to be Trump's vice president who will do nothing against Russia ever. Who, can't talk enough about how he loves Kim Jong. What's his? Thank you. Thank you. Right.
Anytime.
And Vladimir Putin. That right? It makes no sense. Their policies even they clash.
I say this every week now, and I'm going to reiterate this. Okay, this subject is now destroying families. Mm-hmm. It's now destroying, almost the same way QAnon was destroying families. People are judging other people on where you stand on Israel-Palestine. I don't. I spent my entire career in the Muslim world, and I know I'm at 110,000 words in my memoir, defending the Muslim world, defending Muslim people, living with Muslims, praying with Muslims. I've been to shrines Saudis won't go to in Iraq, and I've been to shrines in Saudi Arabia Iraqis won't go to. And I respect them all as a Catholic kid raised in Winfield, Philadelphia. Yeah. But you know what I don't do? I will not allow this country to be run by a dictator on the basis of your misguided TikTok history and where you will pat yourself on the back because Al-Qaeda now supports your protests. Please, for God's sakes, go out and learn some things. Speak to people who have an opposing opinion. Talk to, experts like me. And if you can't, follow my pinned tweet on TikTok, right? The one that says, do I look like I give a flip?
Oh.
Look,
thank you, Flip.
I want you all to understand the stakes are greater. Imagine not Nikki Haley, Marjorie Taylor Greene as vice president this time next year endorsing the forced march of 2.2 million Palestinians out of Gaza into the West Bank. They are talking about doing that. Things can get a lot worse, people, and that's all I come on Stephanie Miller to warn you of.
Well, speaking of which,
it can get a lot worse.
Saved a Trump quote for you, Malcolm, that I think is pretty important.
Really?
Speaking of who our enemies are and who might be aligned with them, he said, and I quote, "There is 100% chance that there will be a major terrorist attack in the United States, or many attacks, maybe." I wouldn't put anything past him to get reinstalled in the White House and stay out of prison.
He doesn't have, and when he says that, he's not talking about foreigners. Right. Okay. Yeah. I don't know if you guys saw the video that he endorsed the other day on Truth Social, in which this guy was talking about, let's kill all the liberals. Let's get rid of all the liberals. We're coming for you. Okay. I wrote a whole book about right-wing extremism. I'm shouting now because obviously none of you can understand that we are in danger in America. And some of you are working to guarantee Trump wins because you're single-issue voters. You'll take away rights for women because you're a single-issue voter. You'll take away minority status for your single-issue voter. You'll get rid of marriage equality for gays because you're a single-issue voter. Y'all better be a single-issue voter about the defense of democracy this November, or you're going to understand what George Washington warned about, America having a king.
And by the way, this is, Michael Fanone and Harry Dunn, who I love, who we've had on the show, were standing there with De Niro yesterday, and people are calling them traitors. Yeah. And I know you don't have any thoughts about this because you're shy, but Trump is considering pardoning Julian Assange.
Yes, he is.
Oh no!
I knew you didn't have any thoughts. Let's.
Don't even get me started on Julian Assange. Same. That's not the guy you have to worry about. Trump is promised the Libertarian Party, who voted 6 votes out of 800 for him, that he would pardon the founder of Silk Road, which was the online global heroin drug dealership and weapons black market, who is sentenced to life in prison because they found hundreds of people died from these opioids they were selling on there. The guy was making almost $1 billion. Trump yesterday promised to pardon that criminal.
Because he was desperate for getting booed off the stage at the Libertarian Convention. Yes, in addition to promising to pardon J6 defendants who beat police officers, sharing the stage with 2 gang members currently out on bond for a 140-count indictment, including conspiracy to commit murder, Trump finished up the week by pledging to commute the sentence of one of the most notorious drug traffickers in American history. It was a list he was given by the Libertarian Party of things he would need to do. And one of them is pardon. He will do anything to stay out of prison, right?
Guess who wasn't on that list from the Libertarians? Julian Assange.
Yeah.
He's not an American. He's British.
Right.
Okay? But he has to show up here. But this is crazy. This is crazy. We have a criminal running for office. And I'm going to say this one last time. I'm going to say it every week until the election. If you guys don't get your acts together and understand that this is now for the whole game, not your narrow-minded little thing, or whether you agree with someone on this or that. You better agree on America as a nation, or we are done.
Yeah. Yep. One last one, just to end on a hopeful note. I don't know that we would ever be able to, but you know what? If we double and triple down on democracy and get the majorities we need, I just thought this was so because it's what you've been talking about in book after book, Malcolm. Finland starts its education against fake news early in daycare, from interpreting memes to spotting manipulated images. Here's how Finland teaches kids to detect disinformation. How great is that? Yeah. How great would that be if we could? And we need to start that yesterday.
We had a discussion about this about a year ago on here, and the Finns now teach what's known as internet hygiene or cyber hygiene. Yeah. Where they teach you from a very young age to double check your sources, triple check. If it sounds impossible, it is. If it looks stupid, it's probably manipulated. I saw Star Wars, Terminator and Back to the Future fused in a video yesterday, which looked awesome and it looked real. And I thought, did they remake Back to the Future with the Terminator? But it's all fake. And you have to understand.
What did you do?
Jesus Christ, that scared me.
Sorry. I was trying to make a point about disinformation to just reiterate that Malcolm Nance is not paid by an Israeli group. Okay.
Malcolm, the funny thing is, I worked in the United Arab Emirates for 10 years.
Right.
I'm waiting for somebody to accuse me of working for the Emiratis. They wouldn't. My wife did.
I was making a super loud point about Shouty McShoutface and disinformation. Okay. Love you, Malcolm Nance. Right. We'll see you next week.
Love y'all too. Bye.